guys, let's talk makeup, and today I want to share my go-to look while traveling. So this summer I went to Canada. I spent a week and I split it between Montreal and Quebec City, and I've tried in like the last few years to be a lot more reasonable with the amount of makeup I travel with, because realistically, one, I don't want to spend that much time doing my makeup, but I still want to look good for my pictures, for everything like that. So this time around, I decided to travel with two palettes. I traveled with the Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette, but that wasn't the one that I used the most. So what I used the most while traveling this time around was this Jennifer Lopez little Inglot palette that I made. They'll sell you the little palette, but you can put in whichever products you want inside, and so they have all kinds of different configurations. So this is the configuration that I chose. I chose two eyeshadows and a blush to put in this palette. You can see on here that this shadow broke. This shadow is called Pumpkin, and I forget what this one the pumpkin was the one that broke. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend traveling with these palettes, because I did kind of have a bad experience with the pumpkin. On the other hand, not a whole lot of it broke. It was also my fault. Normally when I travel with makeup, I don't pack it in my suitcase. I put it on my carry-on. That way I can kind of minimize the kind of trauma that the shadows go through. This time around though, I just packed it into my check-in bag, and did not have good results with that. So again, I think you'd be fine traveling with this if you put it on your carry-on rather than on the check-in the way I did. Okay, I am putting a primer on my eye, and this is the primer that I took with me. This is the Milani eyeshadow primer. This is very good. I am somebody who has very oily lids, and I don't necessarily have to go back in with a cream primer on top of it. A lot of times I do anyway, and right now I'm really into this Smashbox Photo Finish Lid Primer. It's very good. Okay, so what do I do with this? So actually the blush here has worked in my favor, because it's this kind of just like mid-tone mauvey pinky color, and I can just go in there and use that on my crease. So I did go ahead and do that while I was traveling, and it actually would make this color would make a really good just all over one shadow look. I think like one day when I'm in a hurry, I might just do that. Just get this blush and use it for basically everything. Just put it on my eyes, put it on my cheeks, do everything with it. So there you go. Woo. Alright, just make sure it's blended. And then I'm going to go in with a kind of flat brush and into that pumpkin color, and I'm going to put that all over my lid. And do you see how beautiful this shadow is? This is going to be so perfect for fall, but I felt like it worked even during the summer for me. So putting that on both lids. And voila, I really love it. This is what the finger swatch of it looks like, and I'll swatch it on my arm. So there it is. So it's not a super orangey color, but it is definitely like has a pumpkin feel to it, which I really like. So next up, I'm going to go in with this kind of more burgundy color over here, and I'm going to head and put that on the outer corner, and I'm going to blend it in to the crease. And do the other eye. But do you see how beautiful? These two colors go really well together. The gal that was at the Inglot store when I bought this, it was in Vegas, She said the pumpkin color is really popular. A lot of people were buying it. So there you go. This is like it in terms of eyes. So it's a really simple look, but I think it's a pretty one. It has colors that I really like. I am going to go on my lower lash line in with this color right here, and let's blend that into the lower lash line. Just to give it a bit more of a put together look. Okay, so next up I'm going to do the eyeliner that I did while traveling, and I did take my Kat Von D tattoo liner in the color Trooper, I believe. Yes, this one's waterproof. It says waterproof on here, but I find that it's not truly waterproof for me if I'm having bad allergies. Like if I'm getting a ton of water out in the corner and I did a wing, it will disappear on me. So just FYI on that. So let me do this off camera and I'll be right back. There we go. I didn't do anything dramatic with that wing, just because I want to keep it simple, and that is what I was doing while traveling. So the foundation that I took with me to Canada was the MAC Pro Longwear foundation. It's not cruelty free, but I do have it in my collection and I'm trying to use it up at the moment. On the other hand, if you're not cruelty free, I think this is a really good foundation if you like a matte. It's not super full coverage, but it's a strong medium to full coverage, I would say. If you don't have a whole lot of hide the way I do, it would probably be more full coverage, but I have a lot of cover, which is why I wanted to take something that was matte. Plus, I knew it was going to be hot in Montreal and humid, so I did need something that was going to hold up through somewhat humidity. It wasn't too terrible, but there was humidity, and this foundation did really wonderfully with that. I also took a beauty blender. I actually don't remember which beauty blender I took or which beauty sponge. This is the one from Beauty Bakery, which comes in the super cute like egg carton style packaging. It's super adorable, but it's pretty easy to spread, not a whole lot of hoopla, and voila. Most days I didn't even use concealer when traveling, but the concealer that I did take and used a couple of times was the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. So I'm just adding a little bit of that on my under eye, spreading it out. This is not a super full coverage concealer, but I really like it because I have dryness in my under eye area, and this concealer does not crease on me, does not look cakey. It does not need to be set either, on me at least. Again, because I have very dry under eye areas, this is just a really good concealer for me. So there you go, concealer's been applied. So next up, I'm going to do a little bit of contouring, and a lot of times while traveling, I can just skip the contouring, but I did take the Kat Von D, what is this called? It's called the Everlasting Face Shaper Bronzer. I don't think they make this anymore. This is super old, and I'm just trying to get some use out of it before it like completely expires. But this is what I took and wore a couple times. Again, sometimes I just skip this step, especially if I was in a hurry or, you know, I just wanted to get outside and explore Canada. Alright, the blush and highlighter combination that I took with me comes from this Becca Afterglow palette. This is ancient too, and I don't know if you can get it anymore, probably not, but you can see that I have full pan on here almost, and I hit pan on this blush. This is the Wild Honey blush. While I was in Canada, I did not know that I was so close to hitting pan on it, but So it was a really nice surprise while I was in Canada and hit pan on a blush, because that is kind of hard to do. And granted, these are really small pans, but it was still hard. Like, it took me a long time to hit pan on this, and I was not expecting it at all. So that Wild Honey one was the one I would primarily use, but because I had this pink one right next to it, which is in Flower Child, I like dipping into that and kind of mixing it on top of Wild Honey. It has the added benefit of getting some use out of that one, because that is the least used of the blushes in this particular palette. So yeah, that's showing up in camera very nicely. Alright, so that's what I did. When I was feeling extra, I was dipping into the highlights. So this palette has 3. It's got Moonstone, Rose Gold, and Topaz. So I was mainly going to Rose Gold and Moonstone, mixing those and just adding a little bit. So again, nothing dramatic, but Becca makes some really nice highlights. So I like that. Alright, so you can tell we're getting there. We're almost getting this done. So I'm going to do my brows next. And I have really been loving brow pomades lately. Like, really, really loving them. But when traveling, that's not necessarily the most efficient thing to take, because it requires you taking the pot and taking a brush, and then you have to decide, is this pot liquid? Like, do I have to put it in a special Ziploc bag to go to security or not? I don't think in most places you have to. Still, I just didn't want to deal with the hassle of that, so I decided to take one of my brow pencils instead. And the one I took is this one from Urban Decay. It's called the Brow Beater Microfine Brow Pencil and Brush in the color Warm Brown. And so this has got dual sides. It's got the product on one end, and then it's got the spoolie on the other end. So it had the added benefit of, you know, I don't have to pack an extra brow spoolie thing. So I'm going to do these off camera again, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, so that is it. I don't do anything too special with my eyebrows, which is why I'm not including it in here. I just fill in a little bit. I already have bushy brows, so for me it's really more about the tweezing that kind of gives them shape, and then the brow pencil just has the effect of filling in, making them look full and done. So I did use a brow gel that I really, really love. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. The name's worn off of here, but this is my holy grail brow gel, because my brows can be very unruly, and this thing holds them in place. I have found other things, like the ColourPop one, that really works, but I found that that one didn't have a lot of product and didn't last very long. So even though it's cheaper, it just didn't seem as efficient to me as the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. Okay, so just a few more things. I did not take any setting spray with me to Canada. I just thought I would forego that step. And again, I didn't want to deal with it going through security and all that, because normally I would do that step now and then go in with the mascara. But I'm going to go in with the mascara now, and I have really been loving this Mally Beauty mascara. It is the Lift and Curl mascara. It says Mascara Lift and Curl. Oh, that's just in French. But it's just a black mascara, and let me show you the wand of it. This is the wand. It's got a kind of thicker wand with small little, what are these called, bristles? And I think it's a rubber bristle wand. Yeah, I think it's rubber. But this gives me really nice volume in a way that I was really not even expecting it. I normally don't need mascara to do a whole lot. Like, I already have naturally some length. And so I really just look for a little bit of volume, for a little bit of definition. And this mascara just wowed me with the volume. And even now, so it's been, I think I've been using it for over a month, at least a month and a half, and it's still giving me very nice volume. So hopefully, let me go in here so so you can see. Can you see the difference? I never know how to properly show like mascara differences because it can be so tricky, right? Because there's different angles to look at it and all that. But hopefully you can see the effect that this mascara has, because I really, really enjoy it. It's not fully transfer proof. Originally when I first started using it, I was using it on the lower lashes and it was okay. It wasn't creating a hot mess for me. Sometimes it does transfer over to my lid. That's super normal for me, but this one doesn't do it a lot. Like from time to time it does it, but on a regular basis I'm fine. So which is why it's one of my new favorite mascaras. Also, I'm not someone who likes to layer mascara a lot. Like I could get more volume, I think, and definition out of this mascara if I went in with like 2-3 coats of it. So I usually just do like 1.5 coats of it and I'm done. Lower lashes. So I do have a mascara I use on my lower lashes that I traveled with, and that was the It Cosmetics Tight Line. And I don't use it to tight line, like I don't go all the way in, but I do love it for under eye because it doesn't transfer. It doesn't create like a dark circle there, and it's just simple, nice to use. I have really been enjoying it, and I'm actually starting to run out on this, so I will be needing to repurchase soon, and I will absolutely be repurchasing. Alright, lipstick. I didn't take any full-size lipsticks to Canada. I just didn't want to deal with it. But I took a few minis, and the ones I was really, really loving were the ones from Bare Minerals. This is the Bare Minerals. Does it have a name? It's just XOX. That's the name on it. So it was just these like pinky lipsticks, and I almost used up a couple of these minis because I would throw it in my purse and then reapply like after meals and at different points during the day. It was just so simple and it's pretty. It goes with the look. It was really, really nice because it was humid. I also didn't feel like well, there we go. This is the finished look, the look I've been loving all summer actually, because after doing it for like half the trip to Canada, I came back and I continued using all this stuff, like the contour, the blushes. They have been my go-to all month. So this really doubles as a kind of favorites video, but hopefully you like it. It's a really simple look. It's not that Instagrammable, but I feel like that's really what I look for when I'm trying to do my makeup while traveling. I need something simple, but that'll be really pretty, where my pictures will come out the way I like them, but I'm not having to spend an hour plus on just the makeup, because when you're traveling you really want to spend most of your time out exploring, doing things, getting to know the place you're visiting, and that's what I was able to do while in Canada. So if you do live in Canada, especially if you're in Montreal and Quebec City, you live in really wonderful places. I fell in love with both of those cities and like was ready to move except I would probably need to visit during the winter because I hear you all get quite a bit of snow. Either way, thank you for the hospitality. People in both those cities were just really, really wonderful. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.